Let's pick up where we left off last time. So if you're following along in the book, this is on page 49, and I'll start just a little bit earlier reading in the file. So what we're going to be looking at is subsetting from a data frame. So this will give us a data frame that we had been looking at, and this will be the same one. So if you refresh my memory as well, what data frame we're looking at. So this has 4 columns: parts of speech, token frequency, type frequency, and class. And I'm going to attach it again, just as we did last time, so that I can access the column names without using the $sign. So showing how that works, we can access token frequency the normal way with brackets as, so we want the column, so it's going to be comma 2, and that's our token frequency, or we can just do token. And I realized with RStudio I can just do tab when it's the top choice and it will select it. And what am I looking for? Oh, okay, so the 2 ways of doing it, this line right here gives us token frequency, so if we want the 4th item down in it, then that's how we would run it. And if we want to replace this with token frequency, since it's attached now, then this is how we would run it. So looking at several ways to subset, if we use token frequency, we can't split up any of that, but using this way, we can if we want to select just certain rows or certain columns. So checking through a few of those, if we were to do the 3rd column over, we could do type frequency, or we could do the 3rd column over. This should give us all the items down here. And it does. Another one that he has us try is 2:3, so this is again that subsetting. So this is having us look at the 2nd and 3rd row of just the 4th column. So 2nd and 3rd row of the 4th column. So open it open. Let's see if it's doing what I expect. Okay, it is. The next one is putting together some non-adjacent rows or columns. So 1st and 3rd, 2nd and 4th. So if we look down here, we would expect this to be the 1st and 3rd row of the 2nd and 4th column. So 1st and 3rd, 2nd and 4th. Both are open, 421, 1411. C, 2, and 4. So we have C on there. Oh, I see. It's actually a problem with both of these. When using C, it's in rounded brackets, not square brackets. I probably have something doubled up there. There it is. Something again. All right, one more time. There we go, just as we expect. The next one that we'll look at is a which statement. So again, we're going to look at the 2nd column, which is, looking down here, token frequency, and looking at where the value in this is greater than 450. And so what this will return is which of the rows that is true. So which ones are greater than 450? It's going to be these last three. So it should return 3, 4, and 5. Let's see. And it does. Let's do the same thing just so I like being able to look right next to each other, the equivalent ways of doing things, so that I have it stuck in my mind that when I see things differently, it's pulling the same information. So the second one over, looking at it here, is the token frequency. So I'm going to replace this with token, and I'll just tab to get it. Let's run it again, and there we get the same thing. So one of the reasons that this is helpful for subsetting is that if we wanted to know which of the token frequencies of that column were greater than 450, then we could say x of 3, so this is saying the third column, so which of the, now I need to scroll up here, which of the type frequency are, now I'm going to just paste in here, have the token frequency that's greater than this. And I'll run that. And I'm going to run x again just so that we can see what data we're looking at. So which of these has the token frequency that's greater than 450? So of these three, what's the type frequency? And you can see it returned that. So that I can see the equivalency really well. If we wanted, since we have it attached, if we wanted to work with token frequency, we could run that. And also if we wanted to work with type frequency, so then we could think about which part of the data it is that we're working with. So which of the type frequency are under this condition of token frequency. And what have I mistyped here? Unexpected bracket. Let's see if this is all I did. Ah, there we go. So, moving on. Okay, trying another one. So looking at what we're putting in there, we're looking at the third column over in the data. And we're looking at which of the third column are greater than 100. Apparently I'm not matching up my brackets very well. Let's try that. Okay, because we're saying x at this location. So looking down here, which ones are greater than 100? And it is those right there. Okay, putting it into another variable, we can look at x under the condition of class is equal to open. So that should take a subset of everything that the class is open. And let's see what y is here. I had to look down for just a minute because I noticed that class disappeared and x was our data frame, and apparently when I don't put a comma after it, then the class is not included in the data frame. So if I change this and then look at y again, it includes it in there. It's worth worth recognizing both that it does that and what happens if you leave it off. This looks like it's an equivalent way to do the same thing. Oops. Class equals open. I'm going to do this y.1 just so that we have them both to compare. So this is not a which statement, but within our brackets we still have the comma. So we're saying x where class is open. And if we want to look at y.1. And when I was looking through this, I was really curious how it would give the same thing running the which statement as well as the class equals open. And it looks like the location as the first parameter works both with the row location as well as with the logical true, true, and false, false. So knowing that they both work. A couple more tries, we'll use y again. Looking at another which. This is actually I won't say. As I'm putting this in, you can tell me what this is doing compared to what we just did. Before we do this, I'm going to run x again, so you can look at our full set. So it's saying the fourth row equals open. So it looks to me like this is going to be a which statement, and this is replacing class, so it should be the exact same as that. Tell you what, I'm going to give it a y.2 so we can see if it, we can visually see that it does actually put in a new frame. And I probably forgot my comma. I did forget my comma. And I can tell immediately because it drops off that final column. Let's put it back in there, and there it is. And if we want to compare it with y, it should be the exact same thing. There we have it. And it looks like he's showing us the comparison of this statement using, here we are, comma 4. X with x comma 4 that equals open. Can't forget the comma. Let's call this y.3. So this replaces class. So it should, y3 should be the same thing as y1. We'll run it, and we'll do y3 and y1, and they are identical. Now the next part I think is pretty interesting because now it's using the function subset. So it's taking the subset of the data frame X and it's saying give us the subset where class equals open. So we're going to replace Y this time and run it, and there we have it. And this, I'll copy it so I can make some changes. So we'll leave the data frame X, and you can add extra parameters on here, which is, I think, again, one of the very useful ways to use it. So we're saying where class is open and where token frequency is less than 1,000. And we'll run it. And it's a smaller set, so you can see all the token frequencies are less than 1,000. So one final one that we'll look at is a subset. Maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. So we're starting out, and instead of class equals open, we'll do part of speech, and we want to find out where that is in a subset that we are creating that is in parts of speech. So the parts of speech are adjective, adverb, etc. And then if we want to see what it is, then those are our rows that have those. And we'll leave it at that.